So you loved my what to teach before winter break lesson plan. So today we're going to talk about what do you do in those last few days or the very last day before spring break in your Spanish classes. Let's get right into it. Hey, my name is Ashley, aka Senior Spanish, where I provide easy-to-use resources to save you time and energy while you're lesson planning. If you're new here, I just want to make sure that you know that links to everything that I mentioned are going to be down in the description box below. All right, let's start off with one of my favorites. It is a rolla story. One of the student pages looks like this. You can use the option with the vocabulary or without. I include both just so you can choose. And the way that it works is students are going to roll a die 4 times to find out who, what do they want, what's the problem, and how does the problem get resolved. And it's just characters or pieces or problems. They have to put them all together creatively. It's a nice way to get them going with some writing without them being like, I don't know what to write about. Haha, here's what you write about. Once they've rolled, they can use their graphic organizer that kind of walks them through even more story prompts. There's also a final story writing sheet and space for them to illustrate, as well as a sheet for them to read other classmates' stories. So you could really use this for a couple days before spring break if you wanted to. Option number 2 that I have for you is a very chill, laid-back day, because who doesn't want something that's just a little bit relaxing before spring break instead of all the craziness and assemblies? Why is there always an assembly the week before spring break? Anyways, I call this one Conjugation Clouds, and I'm sure you can see why. The way that this project works is they're going to get a cloud, they write the infinitive on the cloud, and then the raindrops are the forms conjugated. And I just took construction paper and then I accordion folded it back and forth, so that way they kind of pop. And then these are really fun to hang up on your bulletin board for a little bit of a 3D option. So this is what the finished project looks like. Here's one of the student pages that hasn't been done yet, and right, you can see it's very simple. You can just say, hey, choose a verb that we have learned this year, put it on your cloud, that kind of thing. This is the page that has vosotros, but I have pages without vosotros if you don't use that or if you don't have students create that form in your classes. There's also versions of this with umbrellas instead of rain clouds if you wanted to like kind of mix and match for that spring showers theme on your bulletin board. And there's also versions of this page where it's just like a coloring activity. Students don't have to cut things out and glue things together, right? If that's too much for the day before break, you don't have to do the craft. You can just do the coloring. Option number 3 for your last day before spring break is essentially doing a weekend chat, but really stretching it out. So if you haven't heard of weekend chat before, this is one of my favorite daily routines, and this is actually something we do on Mondays and Fridays, but we do them a little bit differently because on Mondays you talk about what you did last weekend, and on Fridays, you talk about what are they going to do. So you see where I'm going with this, I'm sure. There's lots of variations on this handout. I also have digital slides as well in case you just don't want them to do the paper format. This is one option. You can see there's already the sentence starters on there. So it says, yo voy a ir, yo voy a visitar, mis actividades, right? So they're just writing and coloring about what they think they're gonna do over break, if they have plans, or even if they don't have plans, what would they guess that they're gonna do? Lots of times sleep is on here. You know, it doesn't have to be super complicated. This is a format you might choose for your upper classes. Again, there is that word bank to kind of scaffold and support them. So it's just saying, yo voy a, what are you gonna do? And then it gives them things like comer, dormir. Again, everybody wants to sleep on spring break, but also visitar, pasar tiempo con, lots of options here for them. So they can write about it, they can color about it. It's a very relaxed way to talk about their spring break. And then you can have them pair and share or simply turn it in at the end of class. Ta-da, you're done. There, 3 really easy, very low prep options for your last days before spring break. I hope that that helps you, especially if it's been like weeks since your last days off. I know that sometimes between like Martin Luther King Day and Easter, sometimes you don't really have a break. So if that's you and you're like, please, I just need to make it to this last long weekend, hopefully this helps you get through to that. If you have any questions, of course, drop me a comment down below. I'm so happy to help. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.